My father opened the door in a white linen shirt and brown leather pants. The Suntarian fixed him in the eye and ordered a flagon of liquid flame. With an imperious air, he sauntered to the bar and took a seat on one of the pneumatic stools pushed up against the counter. His tail flicked from side to side. The Crow's Nest's Tavern was a modest room. Its furniture was unpretentious and solid. In the center of the oak-paneled walls on opposite ends of the bar stood two large stone fireplaces. On cold evenings, they crackled from the heat of electric sparks. In front of each hearth were rustic tables and chairs. My father grabbed a decanter from the rack behind the bar. He popped open the cork and poured the golden yellow flame into a carnival glass flagon. The stranger admired the shimmering spirits for a moment, holding it up to the light as the flames reflected off the flagon. The corners of his mouth turned upward. With closed eyes, he drank slowly, appearing to savor its heat, then gazed out the window. The undulating rings encircling one of the two moons glowed orange in the light of the red dwarf. "This is a convenient cove," he said at last, "and a pleasant out-of-the-way tavern at that." He scoped out the empty chairs at empty tables. "Tell me, friend, do you get many customers here?" Quote, my father leaned his stocky, 6-foot frame forward, lowered his voice and grinned, which made his dimples visible. "We're off the beaten path and our regulars prefer it that way." The Suntarian nodded. "Well," he said, a glint coloring his crystal eyes, "this is the place for me. No crowds and no questions. Over here, boy," he motioned as I pulled a trolley loaded with supplies into the tavern. "Park it here and load my portmanteau. It looks as though I'll be staying here a wee bit." He patted my shoulder. "How old are you, laddie?" Quote, 13, sir. "Ah, it's a ripe good age to be. You're old enough to be fearless and young enough not to know better." He put his arm around my shoulder and pulled me closer. "I'll tell you this, and it's no lie, I'm a no-frills guy. My needs are simple. Give me grog, biscuits and bacon and I'm a happy man. Sitting by this window is the perfect place to drink, and keep track of the starships coming and going in New Providence." My father inclined his head and eyed the Suntarian's empty flagon. "What's your name, stranger?" Quote, "Friends and foe alike call me Skipper." He reached into his breast pocket and threw several gold ploufs on the bar. "When I drink them dry," he said, his eyes ablaze, "there'll be more to follow." Although his clothes were shabby and he spoke roughly, he carried himself as a man accustomed to others' obedience. As liquid fire loosened his tongue, the stranger told us how he arrived in New Providence. He booked passage on a freighter from Tortuga in the hinterlands of the Outer Rim. Once he set foot upon land, he asked what inns offered an unobstructed view of the port. Hearing ours described as inconspicuous, he chose it for his lodging. Try as we might, we pried nothing more from him that day, no matter how much drink he consumed.